right now we are going to discuss the Gujarat election results, and for a change, normally we have colleagues discussing various issues. For a change, we have got a guest with us now. Dr SDJM Prasad is an academic, activist, and lately a functionary of the AICC, but he is not with me as a Congress spokesperson. And more than a Congress functionary, more than an AICC office bearer, Dr. Prasad accurately predicts elections. So he had accurately predicted the Punjab election, and yesterday he almost accurately predicted the Gujarat results also for me, telling me that Congress is going to get only about 75 seats, but again, it is a humongous performance according to you. Why?
This is in the elections, Congress campaign is very good. Excellent campaign.
Rahul Gandhi emerging as a top campaigner.
Yes. What I think we can see, Rahul Gandhi is coming out of all the negative images projected by RSS and BJP and propagated all through the years. He broke and emerged as a true political leader whom the country can believe and take it forward.
So Congress is happy despite its loss in Gujarat, and it is not strange. Congress is always happy when the Gandhi family becomes effective. So you are happy because Rahul Gandhi has become an effective campaigner.
It's not like that. It's a issues the Congress party is taken up, and the Congress party, the present leadership, started responding to the aspirations of different groups. Not only responding and galvanizing their support and turning into a political result is a major change in this Gujarat.
See, in terms of electoral victory, it is a defeat. It is a defeat for Congress. But still, why are you all so happy?
This is the Gujarat. Okay. This is the Modi state.
Okay.
Modi Hawa is throughout the country. That's what the people are saying.
Okay.
And the BJP president is also, people coined him as a voting mission.
Election mission.
Election mission. Election mission. And they developed, they claimed that Gujarat model is the only model, appropriate model to this country. And all these years, they propagated that. Now we can see that the campaign is, BJP campaign is not on that, and the Congress party is the exposed the negative, that the image of the Gujarat model, and picked up the people's issues and linked with the growing aspirations of different communities, and got into their hearts and galvanized their support, not only the social but also turning that social base into the political result is a major process which has taken place in the Gujarat election.
It may appear very strange for lay people who are looking at results to see that even after a defeat, and this is not a simple defeat, this is a defeat after 22 years, despite 22 years of anti-incumbency. So even after a defeat, Congress functionaries like Dr. Prasad, they are happy. So they are happy, why? For that we need to look at certain numbers. So the most important number that I can give you is that in the last assembly election of 2012, that is 5 years ago, BJP had won 47.83% votes, and Congress had won only 38.93 votes. That is the vote share, that is the percentage of votes polled by these two parties. So from 47.83 47.85 I think, it had gone up to 60.11 in 2014. That is a huge surge in terms of vote share for BJP from 2012 to 2014, when Modi became the undisputed leader and the first leader to take any party to a simple majority after Rajiv Gandhi. After the 1984 election, 30 years later, we had Modi coming with a simple majority. So this was reflected in the surge of votes that happened in Gujarat. From 60.11, BJP's vote share has dipped by about 10 to 11%. That is why he is happy. He is not happy because his party has won. His party has not won. His party has still got defeated. But BJP's vote share has come down from 60.11 in 2014 to 49%. That is a loss of about 10 to 11%, which is considerable. But even then, if you look at the 2012 assembly elections, there is still a 1 to 2% increase in BJP's vote share. Having said that, now we need to look at Congress's performance. Congress's performance again gives a lot of reason for people like Dr. Prasad to be happy about, because Congress had polled only 38.93% votes in 2012 assembly elections. From 38.93, in just 2 years, it dipped to 33.45. Just 33.45% of votes in a bipolar situation in Gujarat in 2014 Lok Sabha elections. So now you need to understand why he is so happy. From 33.45, Congress has surged to 41% votes. 41% votes, that is an increase of about 7.5%.
That's true.
And as a true congressman, he will immediately attribute it to Rahul Gandhi?
Yes, definitely. That if you look at the, let me take it to even BJP in Uttar Pradesh elections. Uttar Pradesh elections is, if you look at the BJP performance. So by looking at the BJP performance in UP, nobody BJP people expected they lose this much of vote share. And the way that the election campaigning is taken place by the Congress party this time is tremendous. That too is led by Rahul Gandhi. So that's one thing that I'm very happy by seeing that result. That is what I'm trying to say, is that all these last 3 years, there is a lot of dissatisfaction among the various groups: farmers, Dalits, Adivasis, unemployed, youth. So now, whatever the hopes that the Modi generated, false hopes among these communities, that the campaign Congress party, Rahul Gandhi, is able to expose and able to get that support of these communities in Gujarat. I'm in the own state increasing Congress to 11%, 7% of the vote share is really, I can say that it's the Congress party's victory, even we defeated in terms of the number.
So I need to again, he's now talking the party line, so which I need to temper that with basic facts and figures. 49.1% for BJP is actually an increase in about 1.3% votes. 1.3% increase from BJP's vote share in 2012. So BJP has not done badly. If you compare apples with apples, if you compare BJP's performance in this election with BJP's performance in the 2012 assembly elections, that is the proper comparison. Then if you compare this with the last assembly elections, then BJP has even improved its performance by about 1.3% votes. But yes, Congress has a lot to cheer, because Congress's vote share has also gone up by about 3%. From 38.93, it has gone up to 41.5%. So Congress has also done well, and it really is also an indicator that 2019, the next Lok Sabha elections, would be really hard fought.
One thing is, I can say even the experts during the campaign, they pointed out, if at all Congress will lose, they lose because of lack of organization in Gujarat. Any organizational system, I think, it gets the mobilizes votes of 7 to 8% in general. That's the studies done various group. I believe, as a person also, I believe that's the true. If you look at the Congress, nature of the Congress so far, it's a election management party rather than organization and the cadre based party. Nowadays, if you're not having an organization based on the cadres, so mobilizing votes, it definitely affects. That's what the experts said in the beginning itself. If at all Congress defeats in Gujarat, only because of the lack of organization, I'd say.
It's a very, very interesting point, because see, right now we need to understand that the difference between Congress and BJP in terms of vote share is huge. It's about 7%, but the difference in the number of seats is not that big. BJP is right now, as I'm talking to you, BJP is leading in 101. BJP has won 13 seats and leading in 88 seats and total 101 seats. Whereas Congress has won 14 seats and leading in 62, so total of 76. So the difference is about 24 to 25 seats, whereas the difference in vote share is about 7%. Despite this difference, the thing is that the last mile connectivity in elections is about booth management. Booth management can be done only and only if a political party has a good organization. An organization that can mobilize its people to bring voters to the voting booth. Congress is failing to do that because it really lacks an organizational structure.
That's true. That's true. That is realized. Human Party also now realized. I know I am personally involved in Karnataka and Telangana. Now in Karnataka, we built an organization till booth level and with validation, and we validated each committee member, is whether it is genuine, his contact numbers, is having a identity of the Congress leader in that booth, or like that. Even in Telangana, that we started it. In Punjab, for reserved constituencies. So this is the mandate of SC department, so we focused only on the reserved constituencies and we did it, and we got the result there. And similarly, that's why I'm very confident even in Karnataka now and Telangana also, because as an activist, I know the connect with the people, how much change it will bring, because I've worked with the people for 20 years. So without having that kind of an organizational connect with the communities and people, it's not the these days politics cannot run. So we have got
a few comments and questions and all that. Shashi Bell is calling it a joke of the day that Congress is still dreaming, and let us see, because there is a marked improvement in Congress's tally and Congress's vote share. It has to be accepted, it has to be acknowledged. Whether this, because we all should understand one thing, this is Narendra Modi's home ground. This is his home state. This is the home state of a campaigning, fighting Prime Minister. He cannot be compared with Manmohan Singh. It just didn't matter for Manmohan Singh. Probably even Manmohan Singh didn't know who he actually represented, whether he represented Punjab or Assam or yeah. So but here this is a person who has grown up from the grassroots level, from the state, and who was chief minister for many terms, and then who became Prime Minister. So that is why the Congress people are happy. But at the same time, a victory is a victory is a victory. So definitely it is a BJP victory. There is no doubt about it. Then Ashir Richaria talking about reservation. Sridhar Valasarai is saying Pappu never loses, only his party loses. Well, this election clearly shows that the Pappu campaign has failed. He has emerged, Rahul Gandhi has emerged out of that shadow. He has become an effective campaigner. That also also needs to be acknowledged. Then Gokula Kannan Kupendran says, but in terms of comparison with past assembly elections, BJP has gained. Yes, definitely BJP has gained about roughly about 2% in terms of vote share compared to 2012. No doubt about that. Pradeep Singh is asking whether we should look at EVMs. See, EVM or tampering with EVM, faulty electronic voting machine, these are not allegations. These are allegations that have not been proven. That is the reason why Congress is not talking about it.
Yes, that's true. Even Rahul Gandhi has never mentioned that, never commented on the EVMs. The EVMs, these days we saw so many in the social media that the EVMs has tampered, the kind of thing. But so far its case was not built. That is the tampered and that kind of a thing. So that is why Congress party is not commented on the EVMs.
And without proof, without solid evidence, it is highly irresponsible. It is absolutely irresponsible for senior leaders to throw wild allegations at the Election Commission. So if at all there are concerns, then these concerns have to be raised with proper proof.
But one thing I can say as an activist, this is the responsibility of the Election Commission to clear the doubts the people are having in their minds. That needs to be answered. That needs to be cleared. That is the role of Election Commission. Election Commission has to take it and has to be clear the doubts which are there among the citizens of this country. That's not the role of the political parties.
It has to be underlined many times that questions were raised about the efficacy of electronic voting machines or possibility of tampering with electronic voting machines when Congress was in power. At that point in time, the election commissioner was S.Y. Qureshi. Qureshi never took any step to investigate or allay the suspicions and fears of the then opposition, which was the BJP. So right now, and the allegation came up for the first time in 2009 when Y.S. Rajshekar Reddy had a humongous mandate which surprised everyone, both in Assembly and Lok Sabha. That was the time it was raised by very senior people like Lingdo, Dr. E. Sharma. Very senior and credible people had raised these allegations against the Congress Chief Minister, Y.S.R. Reddy. At that point in time, those issues were not addressed. Now Congress is in the opposition and some Congress leaders are raising this issue. Well, still it is the Election Commission's duty to clarify all these doubts. But as of now, as we wind up, it needs to be underscored. It needs to be told very, very clearly that it is indeed a BJP victory in Gujarat with Rahul Gandhi emerging as a very effective campaigner. That's it. Thanks for joining.